Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Jeff Dover. With me is John Barbin. Let's talk football.
Yeah, let's get to it. So this is our Monday night reaction. We had two games, and obviously the Commanders earned the
I
shirt.
see you're representing. You're representing
Representing.
well.
I know that Bills could have been on this shirt too. When they're on the wall, I don't think you can quite see them, but maybe you know what? I think from now on, I'm going to do pole position right here where the Ducks have. I think I might start moving teams who deserve it. Someone's going to get the shirt here and someone's going to get pole position there. I should have taken the time to put the Bills there. But anyways.
And how nice was it to have two games too? I was really enjoyed starting to watch the Bills game, and then when that looked like it was in control, I could focus more on the Washington game. It was a good setup for Monday. We got another doubleheader coming up next Monday.
Yeah, I know some people complain about it, but I kind of the more football the better for me. The only thing, since we try to react to them, and I don't want it spoiled, but the way they did it, they had the score constantly in the corner.
Yes, that's
So
true. Which worked out fine because Buffalo was leading, and then I knew I didn't have to watch it as much. But if that was a close game, then that would have sucked.
yeah, because I want to record the other one, watch the other. I wish there was a way to turn the scores off, or if they have because I record them. I mean, everyone records them now, don't they? We can't be the only ones who want to watch on a recording and not have it spoiled.
For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. So before we go any further, if you could leave a like and comment and subscribe to the video, we'd appreciate it. It's going to really help out the channel. But I'm interested to hear your take on the games here. So tell me about your Buffalo Jacksonville take.
So my best ever for Buffalo and Jack. First of all, finally some offense. Here, we actually got some offense. This is these were fun for no other reason than there was offense. And in the Bills game, holy smokes, Josh Allen's the most entertaining thing on TV. He's just so much fun to watch. And I think, so this is my big take here. I think getting rid of Diggs was a huge benefit to this offense. Now I don't know if
crazy to think.
I know, right? I don't know if this is the Bills fans' take on it. I think it might be, but it seems like the offense can run how it's supposed to run. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, but now my conspiracy theory or my guess was he was being force-fed the ball because he was being a bit of a diva, and it wasn't. That's not how you run an offense. You run an offense, you take what's there, you don't force it to a guy. Now, I get it. He had great stats, and he catches everything that comes his way and all that stuff. But this looks like so much more balanced and potent of an offense. I mean, they look completely unstoppable, and they're getting stronger every week. Like that was now, okay, maybe Jacksonville's having a lousy year, but holy smokes. Now they have a run game too. Brady, that is a creative offense. We're talking one of the top 4 offensive minds here, right? Like the super creative offense that just looks, I mean, that looks unstoppable. And I know coming into the season, the Bills had all kinds of question marks on so many injuries, but they look awesome. Like they just look awesome.
They do. And I think you're right about Diggs. I think part of it is when you force it to someone that's really it actually hamstrings the offense more than you think, even though Diggs is a very talented player. Like as soon as you let an NFL defense know what you're trying to do, then that's never going to be in a good position. And I was really struck by how much he's moved around and it hasn't been happy anywhere he's been. Like that has to take a toll on the team, And so if you get that potentially a bad apple out of the team, and now you're like, listen, it's going to go to who's open. It's going to go to, like everyone's going to be held accountable the same level, and that has to help. And because there's the hardest, the offense to stop is when you move the ball around. Like how many times have you heard it's like, oh, they've completed 7 passes to 6 different receivers, like that makes it so much harder to defend. So unless your name's Malik Neighbors, but like that, so I think that really does help. So, and the other point about Josh Allen's fantastic. He's fantastic to watch. It's amazing how different he is compared to Mahomes. Like they're both really good quarterbacks, but the style of play really is different. So you're right. I love watching him, and he's a terrific talent.
Yeah, Shakir looks like a real number 1 too. Like I know they were wondering who's going to be the number 1, but he looks every bit the part. And like you said, everyone's filling in. This just looks like a top flight offense. Put it this way: if you didn't know they just lost a top level receiver, you would just be like, oh, this is a great offense. You wouldn't be thinking, oh, what are they gonna do without Diggs? If you just didn't know they lost Diggs, if someone just started watching right now, they're like, oh, that's one of the best offenses in the league. It's just what it looks like. So
yeah.
Yeah, they're at least there's hope here that somebody can challenge the Chiefs. I know it's always the Bills, and I know they always lose, but maybe this year it's going to be different without the Diggs issue. At least I don't know. They look awesome. And
Yeah, that was a great game.
on
And it
the
was
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Mm-mm.
Well, it was a great game, and and it felt like they were in control early, which allowed me to really focus on the Washington game because that was a very entertaining game.
All right, so you want to just stick with what's best evers right now?
Oh, yeah. So my best ever was actually going to be the Josh Allen looking like Josh Allen, for Buffalo, and yeah, and I just think it was like you said, he's a dynamic player, and I really enjoy watching him.
All right, so the other best ever was Jaden Daniels. How
Yeah,
good did he look? I didn't expect that out of him this quickly or at all, but that
at
was
all. That's
totally outstanding. I mean, I get it. He's not in your Joe Burrow mold. So that game was super interesting because I have a note here saying this is like two different ways of playing quarterback effectively. You
hmm.
have Jaden Daniels, he can scramble better than anybody already. He's
Hmm.
that good. Now I get it. He looks like he's going to get hurt every time he scrambles, but he seems
Hmm.
to be at least doing a decent job of not absorbing really big hits.
Hmm.
And holy smokes, is he shifty? He put a few moves on guys that just couldn't even lay a finger on him. And
Hmm.
he hangs in the pocket like pretty late before he starts to scramble, and he seems to keep his eyes down the field. It's not like he just immediately is looking to run. He kind of can extend the plate enough until he really realizes, okay, I got to get out of here. I don't. He
Yeah.
has. It looks like he has an instinct to know when it's one read and get out, or when it's like hold on, look around, then get out. He sort of seems
Hmm.
to choose that pretty effectively. It doesn't. I don't know. He looks way more seasoned than he should look at game whatever it is 3.
Yeah, no, that's a good point because that's usually how young quarterbacks, like, that's sort of the mistake they make, right? They're either sitting there waiting for someone to get open and then gets crushed, or snaps the ball and runs, and there was someone wide open, but they weren't already, like, not looking for it. You know what I mean? So that's uh like that. The fact that he has that much poise now, like, it looks like he's pretty good decision making between running and passing this early is good. Like, because he still looks like a rookie sometimes, but there's the fact that you have that poise now, that just has a really good foundation to go forward. So
Mm.
and he's been doing that for a long time. That's sort of the run pass option, stuff. So I think that was really good. My best ever was going to be the Austin Eckler. I thought was the first three rushes. He looked fantastic. He averaged 11 yards per run, and I was like, "Oh man, if Washington can run the ball, like this, then that just takes a lot of pressure off Daniels as well." But I think he got injured because he only got 3 carries, and then it went. But the other, if Washington can run, then that's just going to help them so much more. So
Yeah, that looked like a pretty unstoppable team. And Gene Daniels throws a really nice deep ball too. Like
yes,
I had a note here saying this just looks like what he was doing at LSU almost identically.
yeah, it
Just
really does.
buying himself time, throwing bombs down the field, like hitting guys in stride.
Yep.
It's just he just looked good. I mean, I just put here he just threw his hat in the ring for most entertaining player along with Josh Allen, and now I think Washington's a must-watch team
Wow.
after that.
Mhm.
Until he puts in a dud performance, if this is what he's capable of, how can you
Mhm.
not watch this team?
Yeah. No, and that's it'll come up later when we do our preview show, but that's one of the games that I'm going to be looking at for next week coming up because that's they have a good matchup with Arizona.
All right, so I guess we got to get to the well. My other note here is Terry McLaurin the fastest receiver.
He's so I haven't seen him much. I haven't heard about him much because they've had really bad quarterback play. But somehow, and they mentioned this numerous times on the broadcast, he's quietly had like 4 1,000-yard seasons or something like that. Like, and I've
With
literally
4 different quarterbacks.
with I am not familiar with his oeuvre, so it's but he looked fantastic, and they made a big point of that he's really been sticking it out there because it hasn't looked super positive for a long time. So, but yeah, that was I that I'm embarrassed to say, because we're professional podcasters, that I was not familiar with that guy, and he looks incredible. Like that, you never heard of him before, and he was really jumped off the screen.
Well, I think it's been a while. I think if we think back, we must have seen him in college and just forgot about him. And then
Yeah.
my last item here on the best ever until we get to the worst ever is Joe Burrow looked great. Like
Yes.
that, he looked full speed. I mean, on the weekend or on that night, Josh Allen plays quarterback the way Josh Allen plays quarterback, which you wouldn't say is your prototypical, I want that per se, but you have a freak athlete like that, he can do it. Jane Daniels is more in that mold too, where he goes off script a bit more, but he's still effective. But Joe Burrow is your classic drop back, pick the team apart. And he did that, and he looked every bit as good as he's ever looked. And I remember one point in the game they were saying the very first play they went one-on-one with Chase, he immediately hit him for a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, so somehow Jaden Daniels was very, very effective, but it takes him a bit longer to figure out where to go with the ball. And he only missed like a couple people, but on one of he could have had McLaurin on another touchdown that he missed.
Yeah.
But I guess it didn't really matter because they scored on every drive anyways. But then I just thought, so Burrow already knows who's going to be open before the play even happens.
Yeah.
And they did it again. They changed their coverage again, and he immediately realized, and then hit Chase for another bomb touchdown. And then I thought, okay, so it's so rare, but this is what everyone thinks a Super Bowl winning quarterback is going to look like. This is the Tom Brady mold. This is the Joe Montana mold. I don't even think Mahomes is quite like this anymore. Mahomes kind of does his own thing. If anything, Daniels and Josh Allen look more like the Mahomes new quarterback thing, where Burrow's your classic sit in the pocket and just pick you apart. And today he did that. It's just I guess we can get into the worst ever now. What is wrong with Cincinnati's defense?
Yeah, that was. I mean, and I don't want to take away from Washington's offense because they looked really good, and I think the Cincinnati's defense made some plays, but you've made a good point about talking about how bad the offenses are and like who didn't score 20 points and stuff. So to see a 38-33 game felt out of nowhere, but giving up 38 points. That was the most points given up all week. Next to Carolina's 36, or in Buffalo's 47, I guess. So, it's that that doesn't bode well, because in order to go far in the playoffs, the defense has to be on point. So,
and then to finish it off on worst evers, the Jaguars. That team is in a total spiral here. On my note here, I didn't break it down any further to terrible offense, terrible defense. Peterson's probably getting fired for this. Whether or not it's his fault, someone's got to go, and it's not going to be anybody else. Probably not going to be the GM. The other thing is, in my theme of people getting a contract and then not showing up, Trevor Lawrence signs his contract and he looks terrible.
Yeah,
it just keeps happening. So I know that there must be counterexamples somewhere that I'm not thinking of, but it's just so glaring how many people have signed a contract and then just shit the bed.
Yeah.
So they just look like they're in the ring now for the worst team in the league with a $270 million quarterback.
Yeah, it was under 300 yards of offense. Trevor Lawrence was 21 for 38 for 178 with an interception and a TD. He got sacked 4 times. I think it's the sacks that probably concern me the most, because it's one thing when it's protection, but it's also, some people not getting open, but I just don't think that really good QBs don't get sacked that much, and for various reasons. Like, you have to get rid of the ball, where you want to go to get rid of the ball. So, but that's not a good sign. And we overreacted to teams that are 0-2 before, and they look like they're never going to win a game. And the Jaguars are 0-3, but it feels like now, if they play like that, they're not going to win another game. I'm sure they will, but like that is not good. And I also don't know what the immediate solution is, because it doesn't seem like every individual player on the team seems fine. Like, there's some talented people, like Travis Etienne's is good running back, and I didn't think Trevor Lawrence, like he didn't play well, that's for sure. But and Christian Kirk and some of the Brian Thomas Jr. Like they're not bad receivers. Like, but it's I don't know. Maybe it's just an offensive line problem, or
Well,
but
and the
yeah,
defense
they
had no
looked
pass rush. It was just
yeah
something's wrong. Something's clearly systemically wrong with that team because they're not
yeah
playing to the level that the talent is on the team.
no
But
that's true.
anyways, so I mean that's Monday night. I'll take more offense like that any time because this year's offense in the NFL has been pretty bad.
Yeah, no, and it was great, and it was great. There's a Jaden Daniels coming out party, and it was great to see Josh Allen, like the old Josh Allen, and it's going to be good for weeks. Looking forward to next week.
Yep. All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it. So please tune back in for our preview shows for the NCAA and NFL.